My God, I hate drugs.
One is never too old or young to fight for the country. That's a challenge of former Quezon City Representative Lorenzo Erin Tañada to millennials. Tañada, along with members of the opposition, commemorated the 26th death anniversary of former Senator Lorenzo Tañada at the Bantayog ng mga Bayani. The younger Tañada says his grandfather was already in his 80s when he joined protests against martial law.
Kung buhay ang lolo ko, sa panahon ngayon, siya ang mangunguna sa mga issue sinaharap ng ating bansa. Issue ng pangimasok ng China, issue ng human rights, issue ng kahirapan. Ito'y hamon sa ating mga millennials na aralin nila yung paninindigan ni dating Senador Lorenzo M. Tañada at marami silang mapupulot.
The Justice Department suspends 3 state prosecutors for allowing the release of 3 suspects who tried to smuggle 6 million pesos worth of jewelry into the country. Pasay Prosecutor's Office OIC Benjamin Lonto, State Prosecutor Florencio de la Cruz, and Associate Prosecutor Clementine Villanueva were suspended for 60 days. They're facing charges for neglect of duty, gross incompetence, and inefficiency. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara directed the 3 prosecutors to answer the charges within 10 days. Solicitor General Jose Calida denies there's conflict of interest in deals worth over 39 million pesos between his family's agency and the government. Calida says he resigned as president and chair of the Vigilant Investigative and Security Agency Incorporated before assuming his post in May 2016. His wife Milagros Calida, incumbent president and chair of the security agency, has signed deals with the National Parks Development Committee since last year. The contracts cover security services for Rizal and Paco parks in Manila. He adds the Office of the Solicitor General does not approve contracts of security agencies. Thousands of motorcycle riders unite to push for equal rights, taking part in a unity ride from the People Power Monument to Mendiola in Manila. They denounce what they call discriminatory policies and ordinances that put their safety at risk. That includes banning the use of helmets to prevent riding in tandem criminals.
Ang purpose po dito is pinagkaisa po namin ang mga samahan po ng mga riders dito. Metro Manila pa lang po pinag-uusapan natin dito. Meron din po mga tawag natin ng mga taga Cavite, taga Bulacan at taga Laguna. Wala pa po siguro sinasabi natin dito yung mga iba pang lugar na hanggang ngayon ay naghihirap sa mga kung ano-ano mga ordinansang inaabot po natin.
Joining the event were riders of motorcycle hailing app Angkas, who also urged transport regulators to legalize motorcycle taxis. In a surprise move, North and South Korean leaders met face-to-face at the demilitarized zone on Saturday. This after a week of mixed messages from the White House about the June 12th summit. CNN's James Dinan has more.
A secret emergency meeting at the demilitarized zone. South Korean President Moon Jae-in met with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for 2 hours on Saturday. The 2 leaders discussed how to keep a summit with the United States on track, following a week of diplomatic flip-flops from the Trump administration.
I've decided to terminate the planned summit in Singapore on June 12th.
Trump explained his decision to cancel the meeting in a letter on Thursday, citing hostile comments from North Korean officials and concern about their commitment to denuclearization. North Korea responded to Trump a few hours later, saying in part that they're willing to meet with the U.S. at any time and in any way.
We're going to see what happens.
The next day, on Friday, Trump hinted that the summit was still on the table, tweeting about productive talks. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said the administration will be prepared for a meeting on June 12th.
The president wants to have a meeting if it can provide real results, and that's what he's said all along.
Despite the last few days of mixed messages, a group of White House officials are heading to Singapore this weekend to prepare for the summit.
The most important thing is that our country, the United States, not mess it up. That our president, because he wants some kind of cheap political win, pushes the 2 sides too far too fast.
I'm James Dinan reporting.
The surprise meeting between the two Koreas on Saturday revives hope for the U.S. and North Korean summit next month. In a press conference this morning, South Korean President Moon Jae-in says North Korean leader Kim Jong-un still wants to push through with the talks, adding Kim is still committed to denuclearization. Meanwhile, in an event at the White House, President Donald Trump said the venue and schedule for the meeting has not changed and that preparations are moving along, quote, very nicely. The remains of a Filipino worker who was murdered in South Korea 2 years ago are brought home. The Foreign Affairs Department confirms the remains of 34-year-old factory worker Angelo Claveria were received by his family in Iloilo earlier today. In a phone interview with CNN Philippines, the victim's sister, Janet Claveria Gallego, shares how they found out that her brother was missing.
Nag-voice out naman siya doon sa mga kabatch niya. So, nag-apply sa POEA. Palagi siyang binubuli. January 2016. Mga New Year, wala na kaming natanggap na mga greetings galing sa kanya. Nag-birthday na siya, ganon. So wala nang ano. Kasi pero January, mga January 2016 to February, may mga replies pa kaming natatanggap galing sa sa messenger niya, pero later on parang na-realize namin na hindi na pala siya yung nagre-reply.
Gallego says her family hopes their calls for justice won't fall on deaf ears.
Sabi nila parang nag-uusad naman daw yung investigation doon sa Korea. So sana mas mapadali pa, ganun, para maka-move forward na rin kami kasi talagang napakahirap po sa amin bilang pamilya ng Angelo. Napakahirap tanggapin yung nangyari sa kanya. So yung tanging hiling lang namin is magbayad talaga yung may gawa sa kanya.
The OFW's remains were discovered inside a septic tank of a paint factory in South Korea. An initial probe says Claveria was murdered by his Filipino co-workers who went into hiding here in the Philippines. The results of the investigation is expected in 2 weeks. A call to be brave and free. Advocates of HIV/AIDS awareness urge everyone to have themselves tested. Among those who did it, this year's Miss Universe Philippines, Catriona Gray. More from Makoy Popioko.
Jay Soliman has been counseling persons living with HIV and AIDS for over 2 years.
I have friends before kasi na nagkaroon ng HIV. Some of them namatay na. So doon nag-start yung calling at saka yung advocacy for helping out patients, clients.
For Jay, what killed his friends was not just the virus or the disease, but also the stigma. The fear stopped them from seeking medical help. Jay is among the 900 volunteers of the organization Love Yourself, which has been offering free HIV/AIDS testing and treatment since 2011. And on Saturday, they staged a nationwide campaign, This Is Me, Brave and Free, a mass testing event in 10 HIV testing centers around the country. And here in Manila, among the first persons who got tested, Miss Universe Philippines 2018 Catriona Gray.
It's something I'm very passionate about because a few years back I did have a friend who passed away from HIV. So that's what really pulled me to the cause.
After her own HIV test, Catriona spent the entire day volunteering at the center. The health department reports there were 912 new HIV-positive individuals added to their registry in March 2018. More than half are 25 to 34 years old, while nearly a third of them are young people aged 15 to 24 at the time of testing. Since 2013, the registry has recorded some 40,000 HIV-positive individuals living in the Philippines. Health officials find the numbers alarming, which led them to heighten the campaign against HIV/AIDS, which all starts with getting tested.
Don't feel scared. I had my first test today, and it was a very, it wasn't a nervous experience. Everyone was very friendly. I felt very welcomed in, and I felt safe.
But how is testing done?
This is the third-gen kit, HIV testing kit. So ang kailangan lang dito is small amount of blood. Isang patak ng blood, just small amount. This is the pricker, the lancing device. So ipiprick siya dito, and then pag may lumabas na blood, yung first blood kasi iwa-wipe muna, and then the second blood, ipapatak siya dito. And then, papatakan natin siya ng diluent, 2 to 3 drops of diluent. So and then we'll wait for 15 to 20 minutes and then may result na po tayo.
Love Yourself HIV Testing Clinic is open from Tuesdays to Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Sundays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. All HIV/AIDS testing and treatment are for free. Makoy Popioko, CNN Philippines.